My friend convinced our teacher he was a time traveler. So this happened back in high school, and I still laugh thinking about it. My buddy, let's call him Mark, was a master of deadpan delivery. He could say the most absurd things with a completely straight face, and it was glorious. We had this history teacher, Mr. Thompson, who was a great guy, but a little bit gullible and super into anything historical. One day, during a lesson on ancient civilizations, Mark raised his hand. "Mr. Thompson," Mark began in his usual calm tone, "I have a question about the accuracy of the dates." Mr. Thompson, probably expecting a detailed historical query, leaned forward. "Yes, Mark?" "Well," Mark continued, adjusting his glasses subtly, "I'm just curious how you account for the temporal distortion caused by our recent shift in the space-time continuum. Because from my perspective, the Battle of Marathon happened closer to, say, 12,000 BCE. The class went silent. A few kids exchanged confused glances. Mr. Thompson blinked. "Mark, what are you talking about?" Mark sighed dramatically, like he was explaining something very obvious to a child. "Look, I know it's hard to grasp for those of you who haven't experienced it firsthand, but when you jump forward from, say, the 3rd century, things tend to get a bit fuzzy. I'm just trying to make sure everyone's working with the correct historical timeline." At this point, a few of us were biting our cheeks to keep from laughing. Mr. Thompson, however, looked genuinely intrigued. He actually paused for a good 10 seconds, stroking his chin. "Mark," he finally said slowly, are you saying you're a time traveler?" Mark gave a small, weary nod. "It's not something I usually advertise, Mr. Thompson. The paradoxes alone are a nightmare. But yes, I'm just here to observe and ensure historical accuracy for the future generations, which, ironically, is your past. And get this," Mr. Thompson didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. He leaned back in his chair, looked at Mark for a long moment, and then slowly said, "Well, Mark, that certainly explains a few things about your unusual insights in class." He then proceeded to ask Mark a follow-up question about how our current technology compared to what he remembered from his original timeline. Mark went on for another 5 minutes, inventing details about future flying cars and holographic teachers. The best part? For the rest of that semester, Mr. Thompson would occasionally make offhand comments like, "Perhaps Mark, in his unique historical perspective, can shed some light on this," or "according to current historical records," or perhaps Mark's alternative timeline. We never let Mark forget it. And Mr. Thompson? I think a part of him still wonders. Made by Indernil. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos.